Welcome everybody to the Locks DFS Week 10 look at. We're looking at the Thursday night football slate on Week 10, as we always do here. Me, Christian Hardy, Taylor Stuber is here, Adi is here, and we're going to talk about this slate. We're going to break it down for you guys. I want to say first a few things before we get into anything. As we always do, we're going to give away a free season pass, a $250 season pass to either hockey or NFL or anything you want, basketball. Just all you have to do is subscribe, and we pick a commenter every week, someone who comments and someone who follows us on Twitter. All three of those things, and you have a chance to win a week pass a year pass, a full season pass every week. And we appreciate everyone who comments regardless. So that's
like $250. So
yeah. The season passes are sick. And the other thing I wanted to say was that we just put up a new pass in the store because we've gotten a few people from YouTube and other places saying that they want to try us out for a month on all sports. So basically this pass will give you access to everything that we do, all of the sports that we do for a full month, NFL, NBA, NHL. I mean, that includes the showdowns. That includes it also include access to our Slack chat, which we usually don't give to month members. But if you're getting the all access, we'll give you access to the Slack chat as well. So you can get in there. I'll usually throw in. I think all of us talk about pivots, but for me, soccer, I don't provide all the soccer lineups that I play. So I'll throw stuff in there like small college football slates. I'll throw those in there. Tonight, Maction was trash. I'm just gonna put that out there. I hate the Mac. It's so garbage. But other than that, like I'll throw extra college basketball lineups. I mean, all kinds of stuff is going on there. So, but if you want to see, this pass will give you access to all the optimal lineups that we're playing, what we'll be playing ourselves, and that sort of thing. So if you want access to that and you want to see what we'll have even on the showdown coming up, then cop a month pass. There's also other passes in the store, season passes, week passes, month passes. They're all there. The shop is linked down below, so you can find them there. All right. Do you guys want to talk about how NBA, NHL is going?
Yeah, we can talk about it real quick. NHL's lit. We've won 10 of our past 11 slates on DraftKings. I believe 9 of our past 11 on FanDuel. Today's looking awesome, looking like we're going to cash in again. So that's going to be 11-12. The one loss on DraftKings, too, was a bubble. So low-key, it's like 12 straight wins. But 11-12 sounds good, too. So, yeah, man, the product is sick. It's just fun, man. It's now that this is like a full-time job. It's like wake up, research all day, and it just feels like the results are showing. I know Taylor could probably attest to that as well with NBA.
Yeah, man. We had a slow start to the NBA season. Went on a crazy 8-day win streak in NBA. Lost on, I guess, Monday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. So, and then we're gonna win on Tuesday. So we're right back on the winning track. Gonna start another streak starting today. And I don't know, man. It's fun. Like if you want to come and join us and then get in on the Slack chat, we're a slow growing community. Well, we're growing pretty quickly, but our Slack chat is slowly growing and getting some more familiar faces in there, and it's fun to chat with you guys a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
Slack chat's a ton of fun. It's fun bouncing ideas off of people. It's fun listening to what y'all have to say as well, because we do value you guys' opinions. So it's cool listening to like what you guys have to say and all that stuff. So definitely, if you're a season-long member or a all-access month pass member, hop in our Slack chat because it's lit.
Fun.
All right. College basketball is going. We're going to win. We had I think we had like a top 1% team on FanDuel yesterday. If a few more things went right for us, we would have banked. But DK won most cash games yesterday. I picked a few, just didn't get the rotations right in a few places. But today is crushing again. Probably going to have a top 5% team, I'd say, on DraftKings today. So in that little 4-game slate. So we'll be back again tomorrow. So lots of college basketball slates to be played all year. So that pass is like 150 in the store, so it's not bad. It'll go all the way through March Madness. All right. Cool. Let's talk about, the biggest thing on this slate is really the top 4 plays. The top 4 guys you're not gonna be able to get all of them in unless you're really trying to get nasty with some cheap guys. But you got James Conner, you've got Christian McCaffrey, then you've got both the quarterbacks, and both the quarterbacks are priced pretty nicely because of how high these running backs are. But I guess I don't know where you guys want to start with this, but how are you guys kind of ranking those 4 looking at this slate? Because those 4 kind of pop out as the top options.
You know, it's funny that you say those 4 guys and you don't even talk about Antonio Brown, but I think we're all in like the same boat in that, just because he's taken such a huge step back this year.
Still leads the league in touchdowns. No big deal.
He does?
Receiving. Yeah.
I was actually surprised to find that out too. When he scored his 9th touchdown or whatever it was. What number was it?
Yeah,
Versus,
he was 9.
it was 9. Yeah, when I saw that pop up, I was surprised. I thought it was Thielen, just like off the cuff, but surprised to find out it was AB. But I guess it makes sense. I mean, can't keep him down for that long.
I think this is a type of slate where, I mean, first of all, we talked about it before. It's going to be tough to cash because they're all these really good options. The total is sitting at, what is that, 52.5? At least it is right here on the RG tool. But I mean, there's going to be this is a kind of slate where you probably, there's a lots of lineups you can build on this slate. Like, usually we come to the conclusion of like 2 or 3 different like 2v2s we could really land on. But this slate, it's kind of all over the place because you can really, like I said, all of those 4 options are really good options. For me, I'm ranking them basically. James Conner probably is my number 1. Cam is my number 2. And then McCaffrey and Ben are right there. Probably Ben just because he's a quarterback. But McCaffrey, they're jamming him the ball right now. So, I mean, this dude, he scored 3 touchdowns last week, or was it 2?
No, 2.
It was 2.
Okay. Got some jacked from 2, which is kind of worrisome that they were giving away goal line carries to other guys. But
right. Cam rushed one in that called back last week too. Just saying.
But I mean, in a game that they're projected to be behind, you would expect them this to be like in the upper range of his targets. I mean, since Greg Olsen has returned in week 6, he leads the team with 26 targets, has 22 catches, 186 yards, and a touchdown from those receptions, a 20% target share. That's tied with Devin Funchess, and he probably has the highest touchdown equity outside of Cam Newton himself rushing. So that's always the downside with McCaffrey is when they get into within 10 yards, you have to worry about Cam running it in himself. But I think it's kind of smart to play Cam and McCaffrey together.
My question is really how I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to fit one of these guys in the captain spot because you're gonna want to get 3 of them probably. And if you want to get 3 of them, it's going to be extremely tough to get them in the captain spot. I mean, if you just plug in, let's just say we go Connor captain, and we plug in Cam and Ben, you're at 3-9. You plug in both the kickers, and you're suddenly a 4-7. So there's really nothing.
You got a punt with like Curtis Samuel.
Really nothing here that's nice. So unless you want to take a shot on Twitter or Washington and hope they get a luck touchdown.
Hey, he played 86% of the snaps last week.
Washington.
If you want to take that chance, but I don't recommend it. But if you want to take it, 86% of the snaps, at least he'll be out there.
Let me kind of break the team apart real quick. But I mean, so the move again, we talked about this plenty of times, just kind of could be because you know that these guys are probably all pretty good floors. Like we're probably getting 18 points out of like 18-point projection for all these guys is probably low. I don't know projection top of my head, but just thinking about that, I mean, that's a really good reason to get a kicker in the captain spot just because you can fit 3 of those guys in for sure. But.
Yeah, I think when it comes to showdowns like this, it leans more optimal to throw a kicker in your – and when I mean showdowns like this, I mean like a plethora of high volume options, like a bunch of good plays. I think it leans optimal to throw a kicker in your captain spot so that you can get more of these guys in. That's opposed to a showdown like the last one we had, the Cowboys-Titans showdown, where there's like less offensive talent there. It makes a little more sense to kind of throw the best player that you can in the captain spot and then figure it out from there. So, yeah, I think with here, I like the idea of going kicker captain spot for the showdown with the, 51.5 over under. So I like kicker captain spot here.
Especially also with really, I mean, this is pretty consistent. Like DK is pretty good at pricing, but there's really no one down here that we have real interest in that has a real role on the offense or is going to have an increased role as they usually would. There's really no one down here that stands out. Like I think that the last offensive option that I'm playing, I would consider in cash is really just Chris Boswell, or I guess Graham Gano's priced under him, but I'm probably not going to play Vance McDonald. That seems like a GBP dart. DJ Moore seems safer than him to me. These are probably the real last offensive piece I'm playing, or would be Greg Olsen and DJ Moore. I like Greg Olsen a lot in this game.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's a good play. Steelers give up the 5th most points in the league to tight end, so he's got good touchdown equity on this team as well. Cam loves his tight end, so I think Greg Olsen's a fine play. And he does seem fairly underpriced as far as like the other skill positions available. But I honestly, man, the guy I kind of want to talk about, I want to talk about Ben. I really like Ben Roethlisberger this game. Pittsburgh has the best offensive line as far as pass protection goes. They rank first in the league in adjusted sack rate allowed. Carolina generates next to no pressure. I think they're like 21st in the league in adjusted sack rate. So Ben's going to have the cleanest of pockets. We know Ben at home is a different kind of Big Ben, and we know Ben in prime time is even a more elevated version of Big Ben. So I think Ben is kind of, if we're talking about the top four guys, I think Ben is my guy that I'm gonna roll with as my favorite of the most expensive guys.
I should have noted when we made that first lineup with that cash left, really, if you are going to put one of these four guys in captain, you might as well try to put the cheapest one in captain. And that does open up a little bit more. I will be honest. Like if I go with the three guys who I prefer, the three studs, and then you go two kickers, you end up right at DJ Moore. So this is definitely a lineup you can play right here. It's a McCaffrey fade, which makes, I think Taylor said this earlier when we were looking at this team, is like, if you're fading McCaffrey, having Cam captain, just because of the rushing upside, if you assume he vultures those McCaffrey rushing touchdowns, like that makes a lot of sense. And DJ Moore also, by the way, I think he got a carry inside the 10 last week. If I was watching that game, and I'm pretty sure it was like either in the red zone or in the 10, one of the two. So he gets rushes here and there. So, no, it wasn't inside the 10 because it was a 32-yard rush. So I'm wrong. But anyway, he's in the backfield. He'll be around. He'll be on the field. In those situations as well. So it'd be great if you could get Olsen here, but you're just 400 off. So.
Yeah, they're just like slowly trying to work DJ Moore into the offense. I mean, for the past 5 weeks, he has rush attempts of over 18 yards since week 6 when Olsen returned. His target share is up to 18%. And if you look at the year, okay, 1 second. Before that, it was at 13 or no, he had a 10% target share before week 6, and then the last 4 weeks he's had a 18% target share. So it's definitely moving up. I think he's definitely underpriced. I think Funchess, Moore, and Olsen are all underpriced because, like I said, in the past 4 weeks, Greg Olsen has a team high tied with McCaffrey at a 20% target share, and he's significantly way more underpriced than the other guys, and they project to be behind. So you would expect Cam to be throwing more, giving him more opportunities.
I think Funchess and Brown are awesome tournament plays. For sure. Like, I think they're both go under owned. I think Funchess' price of $7K is still nice. They've been trying to get him a lot of work in the red zone, I feel like. And he's always been a big red zone target, but in general in his career, Funchess is extremely disappointing. So, I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely Funchess here. So
the issue you're going to run into when you're making your showdown teams is that Carolina has just so many mouths.
He cut out.
Result of it all, like Cam could just be vulturing touchdowns. And so it's just like, it's a tough situation, because like last week on the main slate, I ended up fading DJ Moore. And my only reason to fading DJ Moore was that there's just a lot of mouths to feed on this offense. So I think that's merit to fading any one of these guys. And also, I think it also like kind of, as far as for me personally, I'm going to be heavier on Pittsburgh, I believe. I know the public is very heavy on Cam. I think the Sharps as well are pretty heavy on the Panthers because of what Norv Turner's been doing with this offense. They're running at such an efficient, high volume rate as well that it's like it's a great spot. But for me, I'm going with the concentrated targets, and I know I'm going to get Juju targets. I know I'm going to get James Conner red zone opportunities, and as well as like I think he got like 9 targets last game. So I think I'm going to lean towards these Pittsburgh guys just because there's a lot of uncertainty around. Like all these Carolina guys are good plays, but because of that, there's uncertainty about which one is going to get there. So
once you put one of these kickers in captain, there's a lot you can do. I know one team we were looking at before was with Juju, because I mean that's what makes AB such a GBP play. I think on this slate is that Juju is $3K less, and has a somewhat similar role. I mean, obviously not Antonio Brown, but his role isn't $3K less, I don't think.
Right. The thing to note with Juju is that he runs, I think it's like in the high 70s, 77 or 76% of his snaps from the slot. So he's going to be matched up primarily with Captain Munnerlyn, and Juju's got 3 inches and 30 pounds on Captain Munnerlyn, and Captain Munnerlyn's just not that good anymore. He used to be pretty good, but he's not that good anymore. So I like Juju in this matchup all day. I think he's probably the next guy I'm going to try and get into my lineups, especially from the Pittsburgh side. Probably Connor, but him as well. AB, on the other hand, he'll be then and Dante Jackson, who's actually really fast. I'm high on Dante Jackson as a prospect, as a cornerback prospect. I think he's really talented, but he can check deep threats like Deshaun Jackson, John Brown. He kept those 2 guys in check back-to-back weeks. But with a guy like AB, who's just such a savvy veteran, I think versus a rookie in Dante Jackson, I think I like AB as well. But I agree with Christian in the sense that he is going to end up being more tournament-y because of the discount you get with Juju.
Definitely. I think this is probably a build that we'll probably land on to something like this with the kicker in our captain with 3 of the studs we like, and then guys like Juju, guys like Greg Olsen. I mean, I like Greg Olsen a lot. And then obviously the other kicker's gonna open that up. So I mean, here you can fit Juju, but if you don't want to play Juju, you can also play like you could play like something like that. But that's way more Carolina heavy. So
Yeah.
I think I lean more towards playing Juju and then Bob as well.
Yeah. That's probably going to be like
the optimal.
Seems like the optimal build, especially because things are so condensed. It does suck not getting McCaffrey in.
I was just gonna say a note on McCaffrey as far as fading him is that Pittsburgh is the number 1 team in the league versus pass catching running backs. They defend them very well. And that is kind of McCaffrey's bread and butter, because if you're rostering McCaffrey for his work between the tackles, like, it's fine, but it's not really. You want him to be receiving passes. So Pittsburgh does a great job of shutting that down. And like I said, man, if the touchdown equity is the thing that could boost McCaffrey to a whole nother level. But the thing with that is that Cam's got huge touchdown equity in the red zone. Greg Olsen has got massive touchdown equity, and Funches has the same. DJ Moore got red zone targets last week. So I do think that if you want to fade McCaffrey, I think it's sharp to get in Cam and get in Greg Olsen and kind of take the touchdowns away, because without the touchdowns, McCaffrey probably won't reach value.
I'm curious if you are going to – I'm just curious if this build works. I haven't actually looked at this yet. I mean, if you are going to ride that take, you can do that. Because I was about to say, like, I don't think this is, like, the way to go. I don't think this is optimal. But if you do think that's good – I mean, the thing – I just noticed that when you have Gano and you don't have Juju, you're gonna have cap left. So that's like – that could be a way that you spend, is getting someone that's, like, not a kicker in your MVP. But even then, I feel like these kickers probably have around the same floor as Greg Olsen. You're kind of, if you put Greg Olsen in MVP, you're kind of hoping for a touchdown. So kind of banking on a touchdown, I should say, not hoping. But I mean, that's kind of our look. I mean, is there anyone that, I mean, I mentioned it, but I don't think there's anyone down low that we're interested in at all as more than a GVP play. Obviously, Jarius Wright is here as well. He's a GVP play, but I mean, there's really no one down here. So, because
Torrey Smith is out again, and that boosted Curtis Samuel a lot. I mean,
Curtis Samuel, I think he ran like 9 routes last week. So he did have that. I think he had a couple. I mean, he had that amazing one that's on highlight reels everywhere. So if the public is buying in on that, I mean, DJ Moore, he ran 3 times as many routes as Curtis Samuel. I think he played 86% of their snaps. Like, he's a guy that they've been looking to get involved, and he's a guy who is actually like legit talented. So actually one thing I'm interested in, man, if you want to click it in, is DJ Moore captain spot, because he's a guy that's underpriced at 5'8". So getting him at 8'7" in the captain spot. Pittsburgh they faced, I think, the 6th most pass attempts. So I do think we'll see Cam lean a little more pass heavy in this matchup, especially with them projected to be trailing. So DJ Moore captain spot's pretty interesting if you don't want to go kicker captain spot.
Yeah, that's actually not that bad. I mean, and it's definitely a buy low opportunity just because of how poorly he played last week, or at least fantasy-wise. And he was kind of chalky, so people got burnt by him. So I think good opportunity to get him at a lower ownership.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Role didn't change at all.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Moore's involvement in this team. It's really he hasn't had a great game yet, and there's no reason why he can't have it like a big game. He's
5'6", 9 yards.
What do you say?
He had one good game, DJ Moore, where he caught 5 or 6 targets.
Yeah, but not like a bust out game. That's still fun.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a good game. No, don't get me wrong, especially because he was like super cheap that week. But
yeah, and another reason why he only had 2 targets last week is because Cam barely threw because they were leading the entire game.
They stopped.
Vegas projects him to be behind this game. He's pretty much up there with the top pass catchers on the team with an 18% target share over the past 4 weeks. So, I mean, he's really not that much different between Olsen and Funchess, and he's the cheapest out of the 3.
One quick note, one thing I'll say as well, our sports bets have been killing it recently. If any of y'all are interested in sports bets, check us out. And I think I'll give a free one away here because I like the over in this game. I like the over at 51.5. I love this over. I think Pittsburgh at home in prime time is going to put up a lot of points. This Carolina offense, Norv Turner is doing amazing things with them. So I think they're going to put up points as well. Like I think the over at 51.5, I'd probably bet the over up to around like 52.5, 53. So I think there's juice to be had there. So throw some money on the over and let me know how that goes.
All right. That'll do it for us. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. If you're not, remember, you can win a free pass if you comment, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at LocksDFS. You can get our optimal lineups, not only for the showdowns, but for every sport and for the week, like every sport, every slate. LocksDFS.com, LocksDFS.com. I talk so fast sometimes. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time.
Peace.